Kitchen Kings and Queens. We are back and we are going to be making the potatoes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the schmaltz into this baking dish, okay? And this is about a 7-inch uh, oval baking dish. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to try and get as much of this out and in there as possible. It is a very cold day. We have a like a polar vortex is dipping down into our area, and it's been very, very warm up till today. So it's a unusually cold day, even for this time of the year around here. But we've been having unusually warm days, so I guess it's tit for tat, as they say. Okay, so I just put that in the bottom. Now I'm going to take my potatoes, and are these are Yukon, or like a gold potato. They're from New Jersey. I got them at the grocery outlet, and they were quite a bargain at $4.99, and there was $1 off and a 50-cent off coupon with them. So they are quite the bargain. Okay, so I'm going to peel them, and you have to get off, again, I told you this before, you want to get off all the green. Okay, if there's any eyes, you want to get them off too, but you definitely want to get that green portion off. Okay, so I just have a couple potatoes here, and I'm going to kind of put them into a dice. Okay, so I'll show you how to do that when I'm done peeling the potatoes. These potatoes are also, I don't know if I mentioned, they're from New Jersey, from Woodbury, New Jersey, so down South Jersey near the Philadelphia side. And there's a lot of farms down there. Primarily, those farms are blueberry farms. So there's probably the largest blueberry growing area in the country is right across the bridge in South Jersey. And it's pretty much centered in Hamilton, New Jersey, not Hamilton. That's something very weird about New Jersey. There's so many towns that sound the same but are slightly different. So there's Moorestown, New Jersey, and then there's Morristown. There's Hamilton, New Jersey, and then there's Hamilton, New Jersey. There's, oh my gosh, when I was up in the mountain area of New Jersey, it's kind of the lake and mountain area. There's a Lenape High School there, and there's a Lenape High School in South Jersey. So I don't know why they do that, but they definitely like to have overlapping towns in New Jersey. But that's just one of the unique things that makes New Jersey, New Jersey. And it's a super small state, so you think there's two, it will be one thing if it was like New York and there's a Morristown and then there's Moorestown, New York. I mean, that's a huge state. But New Jersey, I mean, those towns are so close to each other. So everything's close to each other in New Jersey. You can get anywhere in about an hour and a half to 2 hours in New Jersey. So it's a little interesting to me that they name their towns like that. But anyway, so South Jersey is what makes New Jersey the Garden State. It's where a lot of the farms are. There's a lot of tomatoes there. There's a lot of food processing companies there, like Progresso, Campbell's, Cento. What else is down there? There's a really good, if you watch QVC, there's a really good meat company there called Rastelli. And if you're ever in South Jersey, Rastelli actually has a chain of supermarket, like gourmet stores. So you can get meat there, their Rastelli meat, as well as it's like a very nice fancy grocery store. So if you're ever in South Jersey, check them out. Or you can always get their stuff on QVC. Okay, so I cut the potatoes in half, and now I'm cutting the halves in half. Okay. And then we're gonna make this kind of a rustic. Now we could make it like a dice, but I actually kind of want to make this a rustic cut. Okay, so then once I'm done, I'm just going to throw it right in this scallop dish with the schmaltz. Now the key to potatoes, for them to all cook evenly, is you have to cut everything evenly. Okay, so each piece has to be kind of the same size, or roughly the same size, so that they'll cook at the same rate. And we're going to roast these. So that was the beep you heard. That was the oven was preheated. And that's what we're gonna do. Okay. So our potatoes are all cut and ready to go. So I'm just gonna take a little fork here, and I'm gonna toss them to make sure that they are all separated and all get coated in the schmaltz. Okay. And that's going to give them a nice flavor. These yellow potatoes are really good potato to do this with because they're waxy. So they will they're not dry like a russet potato or an Idaho potato. These are more waxy and creamy. So they will kind of soak up this schmaltz. They'll get nice and golden brown, and they'll get nice and creamy, and then they'll just be really good. So these are a good kind of roasting potato. Idaho or russets are really good. What's it called? Like a baking potato, and like a red potato or a new potato. Those potatoes are really good for this application as well. Okay, so I've tried to make them kind of like a single layer, and then I'm gonna crack the pepper. And again, I'm trying to get this to be as fine as possible, but we're getting a couple specks in there. Okay. And at some point throughout the cooking process, I'm not going to keep you here for like an hour or so. That would be very boring for you, and you'd have to listen to me rambling on, and you know I could, but I don't know that anyone would want to sit through that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put these in the oven for about an hour. I'll check on them as they go through, and then I will toss them at some point throughout the process, because you want to make sure that they get cooked all the way, that they get coated in the schmaltz. So some of the schmaltz will fry the outside of the potatoes, but some of it will get in there. So we just want to make sure that we're tossing it. Okay, so I'm going to put it into the convection oven here. And I'm going to do it at 375 for an hour. Okay. And like I said, at 30 minutes, I'm going to put the timer on here for 30 minutes. Halfway through, I'm going to check them. I'm going to toss them and see where we're at. Okay, so maybe we'll pop back in at that time, or you'll get to see the finished product. Okay, bye, Kitchen Kings and Queens. Bye, Kitchen Kings and Queens. Okay, so the alarm went off. There it is. And we're going to stop our potatoes, and we're going to check them out. Give them a little toss. Okay. Okay, so this is our potatoes. They are coming along great. So we're going to give them a little toss here. And I think we want to try and get the toasted part under, okay? Because that part is really ready and done. I wish you could smell these potatoes. They smell like a rotisserie chicken. In France, in the rotisserie that they have, when I worked at Gennardi's, we used to have an actual made in France rotisserie. And there's these baskets that they have at the bottom of the rotisserie. And those baskets are where all of the schmaltz from the rotisserie chickens collects. And you can, in France, they actually put potatoes in there, and they use it to make a delicious roasted confit type potato. So I'm going to add something else to this. I'm going to add a little bit of garlic. I'm going to close that. Why are we giving up our heat here? And I'm going to also add a little bit of a shallot. Okay, so I was thinking about this, and I think it will just really take this to the next level. Okay, and I have the shallots, so, why not? Okay. So I'm going to use a little, let me put that off to the side. I'm going to use a little paring knife here. And I'm just going to, there's a little yucky spot. Just slice up some garlic. Cut off the hard bit. Okay. Okay, and then we're just gonna give it a little slice. And then we're just gonna, and we have a nice dice of garlic here. Okay, I'm just gonna add that into the potatoes, and then I'm going to do the same with the shallot. So I think that's enough garlic. That is a word that's something I never thought would come out of my mouth. I think that's enough garlic. Wow. Okay. Well, I guess there's a first time for everything, as they say. Okay, so I'm going to now slice the shallot. Okay, and if you kind of score it like this, then when you cut down, you get a lovely minced shallot. And that's what we want here. Just make sure it goes all the way through. So, okay. So we got this lovely minced shallot. And we're going to add that into our dish here. And I don't want to mess up my potatoes, but I do want to kind of get these down in there. Okay, we want them to flavor the potato, but we don't want them to burn. Okay, so we're just gonna try and just move around the potatoes where they are and see if we can get the shallots. You know what? I'm actually going to do this other, because there's a lot more shallots in there than there are garlic. So just want to kind of add in a little bit more garlic. And we have our shallot here. So I'm just going to mince that up too. I don't need any leftover nothing. Okay. And I haven't decided if I'm going to eat this garlic and shallot, but you don't have to. It could just kind of season the dish, and you could leave it in there. But I'm sure it will be delicious if you do eat it. Okay, so it'll soften and mellow out the garlic and the shallot because it'll get roasted in with this schmaltz. Okay. This is going to be a treat. Okay. And I'm just going to give it a little shake, put it back in, and we'll be back in a half an hour and we'll see where we're at. Bye, Kitchen Kings and Queens. Hi, Kitchen Kings and Queens. Okay, so our potatoes went off, and we're going to take them out and look at them and maybe give them a little taste. Okay, wow. So these look and smell delicious. Oh, now you can smell all that garlic and shallots. They really have a beautiful color. They are rich looking. I'm just tossing them in the oil so that they can all kind of get shimmery. And they're fork tender. These are going to be a delicious accompaniment to the chicken. Okay, so I'm going to just show you this here. I think I need to show you here. Okay, this is one of the bigger pieces. It's just fork tender. You have some of the brown pieces, the garlic and shallots. They didn't burn, but they got nice and toasty, and they imparted all this flavor. So I'm just going to taste it to see if it needs any salt. I know we put a lot of salt in there, but potatoes take a lot of salt. So I just want to make sure that they're very hot, but I do think they need just a dash more salt. And they are just, the texture is incredible. It's just this melty sort of, and I'm breaking up this salt while I'm seasoning it just so that you get a little bit more coverage. But man, these potatoes are like butter. I mean, they have no butter in them. There's no butter in this recipe. It's just the schmaltz and the salt and pepper and the garlic and shallots. Okay, so I'm just gonna try another one. They are delicious. I hope you make this recipe. If you ever have anything with chicken fat in it, do not throw that chicken fat away. Render it down to schmaltz. Make these potatoes. They are really, really good. Okay, so before I eat this whole plate of potatoes, I'm going to bid you adieu. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I hope you try this. I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you keep liking, subscribing, and sharing and keeping up with me. I really appreciate all my viewers. I really appreciate anyone that likes and subscribes and shares. Please leave me comments if you like the videos. I really am enjoying doing this, and I hope that you're enjoying watching it. Bye, Kitchen Kings and Queens. Have a great day.